What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm bringing you the top 5 meta loadouts that you need to use right now after the Modern Warfare 3 Season 3 Reloaded update. Before we get into those, I just want to say thank y'all so much for the incredible support I've got recently. We have absolutely blown up to around 240 subs over the last month. And I know for the larger YouTubers, that's not a lot, but for me and someone that's new as a creator, it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm trying to bring you guys content that isn't cheese. I want to give you something that's legitimately educational or hopefully legitimately funny or actual fire clips that aren't from someone that you're wondering if they're hacking or not. It's a real regular person. It's a little bit more relatable. That content is incredibly difficult, but I feel like I'm getting better and better, and the response has been getting better and better. I put out some garbage and I saw the effect of that. I've made a commitment to you guys to bring you the best quality content that I can create and to care and for it to matter to me. And it does matter to me. I should show that with you guys. Without further ado, thank you once again. And let's get into these top 5 loadouts. I do have some surprises, some interesting things on Hitscan, and a few tricks that you guys probably haven't even heard of yet. So make sure that you watch all the way through to the end, because the last thing I show you is probably one of the most disgusting things we've had in Warzone in maybe a year. And for everything else Call of Duty, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, and let's get into these loadouts. You know what's brutal is I actually just recorded this video and it was like 30 minutes long. I felt great about it, only to realize that I had it set at that first scene that you saw, and the entire video is just my face. If you guys want that copy, let me know in the comments. No, I'm just kidding. First loadout, this is our pay to win bundle. I'm going to show you why it's pay to win. You can probably see already why, right? But let's get into it. Probably my top 2 picks right here. This is going to be my new baby. First one, DG58, right? Going in with the VT7 Spitfire suppressor for the range and the bullet velocity. We're going to talk about a very, very key component of that bullet velocity in about 30 seconds. So stay tuned. Going next with the Woody long barrel, same thing, bullet velocity, effective damage range, some recoil help. The Kimura RYN vertical grip, same thing, recoil help, not a huge hurt to your sprint to fire or your ADS, another great option. The 5GN Taq comb, 17% reduction of sprint to fire is crazy from a comb that gives you that much benefit. It does hurt your tac stance spread, crazy, but like who's using tac stance, so it doesn't even matter. Next up, recoil reduction butt plate. Got to make sure you got the recoil reduction on your butt plate. Actually does a lot. 19, 12, and 12. I can't lie. And look at those penalties. They are incredibly minimal. I love that for us. Before we go into the firing range, I want to show you guys something incredibly important and explain something really quick. Every single weapon in Call of Duty is hitscan. It's just only hitscan to a certain range. That, long story short, the servers take 50 milliseconds to tick. They run it 20 hertz. What is it? Doesn't matter. If you guys want to see the insane breakdown, True Game Data and Exclusive Ace broke this down crazy, and they just found out about this like last week. It's incredibly new. We've been feeling something like this, and as I explain it, you'll kind of realize how this has affected you in a lot of situations where you're wondering why some bullets hit and why some bullets didn't hit, and you really have no idea how to lead someone. Let me break it down. It takes 50 milliseconds for it to register. What this means is your weapons will be hit scan for however long the bullet travels in 50 milliseconds. The easy way to figure that out is to do 5% of your bullet velocity, and that's the distance that your weapon will be hit scan. So for instance, on this G58, 1100 meters per second 1100 meters per second bullet velocity means that my easy calculation is I go to 10%, that's 110 meters, right? And then I do half of that. So it's 55 meters. For 55 meters, my DG58 is going to be hit scan. So aim wherever they are for 55 meters. Anything after that, 55.1 meters, you need to start leading. Absolutely insane. When you're looking at sniper builds, when you're looking at AR builds, when you're looking at SMG builds, especially with your AR and SMG conversion kits, which I'll show you later in the video how that impacts your weapons, it's a huge piece of information that we were lacking and completely changes the way that we look at our weapons. 1100 meters per second bullet velocity, incredibly high. Hit scan to 55 meters. This is a phenomenal choice. It also is an absolute laser, and I'll show you why this is pay to win. I can see through my entire weapon. It's got no recoil. It's got a crazy slow fire rate, 60 round mag. You can see that my downs per mag with this would be incredibly high compared to some of my other AR options, like I'll show you in the next build. G58 top tier, they did nerf the SMG version of this, and the SMG version is now identical to the Striker 9. So not really a point in using it because it's taking AR ammo. So just use it as the regular AR option. Following that up with the other weapon that's in that bundle is the WSP 9. One of my favorites for a long time. Once again, got the pay to win skin on there. Going through the loadout real quick. Sonic Suppressor S for the range and the bullet velocity. We really need that. What this means is, so hit scan to 15 meters, anything outside of 15 meters, now I need to lead. This is something I need to know, and I should be pinging on my map to see how far different lines we get into the same fights a lot. I should be pinging those and finding out how long that is and which ones are going to be hit scan and which ones are not, and where am I going to struggle in those areas and what should I be using so I can have a consistently over time higher win percentage of my gunfights. Sonic Suppressor S, his short light barrel, just really bringing down my sprint to fire speed. They buffed the WSP 9. They reduced the sprint to fire speed by 50 milliseconds. So the open bolt delay doesn't really matter anymore. 50 round mag, the Marauder grip for your recoil control. And I like the WSP Classics factory stock for the recoil help. Some people, which one do they run? Or they won't run this, but they'll run the DR6 hand stop. And I'll show you why you shouldn't do that. The DR6 hand stop, little bug right there. The DR6 hand stop, where'd it go? Man, tell me I got ADD, bro. Brutal. The DR6 hand stop gives you an 8% reduction to your sprint to fire speed, but 8% of what? My sprint to fire speed is normally 63 milliseconds. Taking 8% of that is 5 milliseconds. 5 milliseconds will not make you lose a gunfight. What will make you lose a gunfight is missing your shots. If I put the DR6, it doesn't help me with the recoil. I start getting all types of bouncy. It's not good. The big thing with the WSP 9 is it has a very, very slow fire rate. So I am penalized much more for missing shots than I am with something with a fast fire rate, because it can come back on target and start doing damage. I need to make sure that I'm hitting my shots with the WSP 9, which is why I'm using the Classics factory stock for that immense amount of recoil. And now when I go to use it, it is a beam. It looks great. I love the way it hits. I love weapons that I don't like fast fire rates. I like slower fire rates. I like having that impact. It also, this dies at range. I can't lie. But up close, I mean, it's a monster. That's our first bundle, right? DG58, WSP 9. You can get this entire spare ribs bundle if you want to get the pay to win version. Or you can switch out any attachment you like. You can switch out the muzzles for whatever you like, and we'll keep on going as we go through the rest of our loadouts. Second build, BP50, one of your best close range AR options after this update. Absolutely fantastic. You guys can see here on your TTK graphs, it holds up at distance as well. For some reason, because the fire rate is so high, like I said, I just feel like I have to put so many shots onto someone, and I personally struggle with that. You may not, so that's okay. My apologies. Geez. Let's break this down. I like the Sky Fury compensator. You can go suppressed if you'd like. Your other options here, TGD, for instance, puts on the, what is it? The Sakin tread. I don't like the Sakin because you get the gas coming out vertically instead of horizontally. Not a fan. Follow that up with the Lore 9 heavy barrel for the range, for the bullet velocity. Looking at this bullet velocity on the BP50, big thing, A85, you're talking about like a 45 meter hit scan range. Got to be wary. You got to be wary of that as you're playing. Next, the 45 round mag. The other reason why it struggles, and there's other options I would choose, is because, let's say for ranked, I can't use this in trios. This is a solos or duos only AR. I cannot use this in ranked unless you're a demon, but you're definitely going to get in situations where this is going to cost you. You need more rounds in your mag. That's where, like a 60 round mag, this thing's the meta 100%. The 4-bearer heavy stock, for the recoil reduction, and then the jet glassless. This is an absolute laser. It beams. The back dummy is 30 meters, but we're still in that range to where this is, it barely moves. It looks amazing. It's really nice. It feels really nice. I tried this out before the update, didn't really enjoy it, but with this build, man, I might have to go and give it another shot. That is a laser. Definitely try that out. Follow that with the Striker 9. A lot of people have been using that since before the update, so let's build it out. I feel like I've been getting pushed a lot on, let's say, Rebirth Island because I haven't been using suppressors, and I think that I underestimated the amount that someone's going to push me because they can continually see me on the map for pretty much the entire game because I was running all of my weapons without suppressors. Switching it up, Sonic Suppressor S, we're going to go with the DR6 hand stop. You guys already know for the ADS time, 50 round mag. The Sakin ZX script helps bring down some of that recoil. Look at those recoil stats. They are insane on this striker. And then the Lockman MK2 light stock. Putting down the firing range, just like the, oh, what do you call it? Just like the MCW SMG, I don't really enjoy these iron sights. I don't like having an enclosed circle. I just get a little bit confused with this one. I personally would probably put like a sight on this. The Striker 9, I'm just not a huge fan of myself. It does beam and I'll use it if I pick it up off ground loot, but I won't necessarily build a loadout. But there are a ton of people that absolutely live and die by this thing and they love it, and they've been using it as sniper supports and other options since before the update. This is definitely the build I would use if I'm running the Striker 9. As I said before, you can always switch out your muzzles to whatever you'd like. Getting into our third loadout, this is an easy to use and hard to use option, but I'm going to explain why I combine them. The SVA 545, absolutely incredible. I'm actually running this no sight, and I'm going to show you why. Spitfire suppressor, we know the stats, we've been over it a ton of times. STV precision barrel, same thing. Range, bullet velocity, recoil control, high velocity ammo. Because it brings our bullet velocity up to almost to 1100. Now we're once again at that 55 meter hit scan range, and then a 60 round mag and the Citadel grip just to bring down a little bit of recoil, right? It does help my ADS speed as well. Now getting into the firing range, instead of running this full auto, I believe it's more powerful if you put it into the semi-auto range. This also reduces all recoil. Let's say you are a 9 to 5 worker, maybe, you know, you're a dad, maybe you don't get that much time, maybe your girl doesn't let you play the game that much, you know what I mean? Like, we understand, guys, like, life's freaking hard, right? If you don't have that much time on the game and you're struggling to hit shots, SVA 545 is your best option. It's an absolute laser. It's got great range. It's got a great TTK. It is the easiest to use AR on this game. You can just put it on somebody, and I literally didn't touch recoil at all. I don't have to do anything. My accuracy is crazy high. This is fire. Great option. Absolutely great option. Now, because you're most likely not going to be pushing a ton of fights because you don't get to play that often, means you're going to be like a little bit more campy, you would say, holding lines of sight. Maybe I'm trying to pick people off at range. That also means that I'm going to be putting out a lot of shots, which also means I'm probably going to be pushed quite a bit and have quite a lot of fights at closer ranges. So I'm pairing that with a disgusting close range option as the WSP Swarm. Now I'm going to show you something pretty cool about this Swarm when we go into the firing range. Sonic Suppressor S, WSP Reckless, 90 long barrel, huge help for our range. We need it with the Swarm, DR6 hand stop, the high grain rounds, and your 100 round drum. You can obviously switch this to a 50 round if you're not playing trios or anything like that. But I'm going to show you in the firing range. This thing's a monster. Within 10 meters, this is one of the best options that you can have. Super fast mobility. And you're wondering, dang, Merlin, I can't see a thing when you're shooting that. Well, actually, I'm just rifling off a whole bunch of bullets right now, bro. I can pack the whole table with these things. It's crazy. So cool thing, guys, if you don't know about this, obviously, I don't want to play and have that the entire time. I can't even see. If you buy a bundle and the bundle has tracers or an unalive effect or anything like that, and it comes with an ammunition, shout out GTA 3. If it comes out with an ammunition type, then your tracer and your unalive effect will be attached to the ammo. It won't be attached to the blueprint. So you can put it on anything. For instance, this is from the 420 sloth bundle. It's got that little icon in the bottom right of that. You can see it's got the tracer and the unalive effect on there. I can equip that, and then now any weapon that I decide to use the high grain rounds on for at least my SMGs, can use that. For this one, I'm going to take it off. That way I can actually see what I'm doing. And now you can see, obviously my recoil is crazy, but this is a within 10 meters. So I should be within this pushing guys as I'm trying to fight and using this to my advantage. But still really rips. You can learn how to control the recoil. Just give it a little bit of, give it a little bit of practice. It's almost so crazy that it makes it easier in my mind. That's our third loadout, the SVA 545 and the WSP Swarm. I really enjoy that. Now for something that really surprised me looking at this TTK chart, the Taq Eradicator. I've hated this thing since it came out, but after looking at this and then trying it in the firing range, this thing is a monster, giving me like that OG Pull 'em Yacht 762 vibe when that first came out. TGD says Tempest GH50, put whatever you want on it. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on the muzzle. You can decide how you want to control the recoil. I'm just going to leave the Tempest GH50 on there. The Conquer 70 long barrel, same thing, range, bullet velocity, 1300. This thing is hit scan to 65 meters. Bro, 65 meters is like the length of prison. Not like the entire thing, but like half of it. That's a long way to be hit scan, dude. Like hit scan, bro. Right then. Absolutely nuts. The Kimura YRN03 vertical grip for the recoil control and the high velocity, so we can get that all the way up there. You can see it makes a huge difference, 20%. Jack Glassless, look at this thing in the firing range. 75 round mag. It hits like a truck. I mean, the recoil is incredibly easy to control. And so I'm beaming people like this from 65 meters on hit scan. I'm like, this is a fantastic option. This over the DG58, really, really close in ranked play. This is really sick. I didn't expect this. It just feels good. I would try these builds out, guys. Go into the firing range and just start shooting, just start trying some things and ask yourself what feels good. You should try things out. And then like when I picked this up, I was like, ooh, I like that. I don't know why I like it, but I like it. That's the build. Taq Eradicator. Really excited to try that. Pairing that up with the MCW SMG that I was earlier giving a very, very hard time, but you guys can see in a lot of my footage and a lot of my live videos, I'm using this MCW SMG an absolute ton. It's an amazing sniper support. I think it's now been beat out by the Striker 9 as like a better sniper support, or even the BP50, right? Another better sniper support. The way that I build it, the Sky Fury compensator, one of my new favorites, the second line Mammoth heavy barrel for the range and bullet velocity at 520, 26 meter hit scan range. Very difficult. You need to watch out for that when you use this. There are some times where I lost some gunfights and I was like, how did I lose that, bro? How did none of those bullets hit? Because I guarantee you they were at around that range. And when they start bouncing in and out of that, especially when the bullet velocity is that slow, you need to lead even more. An absolute mess. That's why looking at this hit scan range is so important on deciding what you need to use as your primary and secondary weapons. Amazing that they found that out. A huge shout out again to True Game Data and Exclusive Ace. True Game Data, Exclusive Ace, JGod are like my pyramid trifecta of incredible information for Call of Duty, and they help me be a better creator for you guys, and they're the kind of guys I like to emulate and create content for you guys. If you guys like the information, but you like my delivery, I would just say follow us both, right? Support everybody. 40 round mag, the other thing that holds this back, really, really small mag. It's pretty dang tough, I'm not gonna lie. And of course you need the Jack Raven conversion kit in order to turn that into an SMG. The other thing is going into the firing range. When I go left and right though, this starts crossing, and that is a lot. That's doing a lot right there. I'm not a huge fan of that. This camo is also insane on this thing. It's doing way too much. I can't focus, dude. But I mean, hits though. I love this thing. Huge fan. Been using it since about midway through season 3. Absolutely love it. You can see in a ton of my gameplay. That is my fourth build. Just a surprise on the Taq Eradicator. I'm excited to use that. I'll drop a video on that later. And going into our last loadout that I think you guys should be using for the Season 3 Reloaded update of Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. I've picked this off the ground, and It absolutely hits, bro. And I keep on saying, bro, the Holger 2.6 just has something about it. It's that same thing. When I grab it, I'm just better with it. Some people will be better with different weapons, and you need to be okay with using what you are best at. Because if you're going to be not saying you shouldn't practice, like if something's incredible and you're not good with it, then you should practice and get better, right? I don't think you should stay away from certain things. But if like something feels really good to you, especially at long ranges, you need to be using that weapon. And I think that you should. I built this Holger 2.6. You can see on the TTK chart, looking pretty great right there. The X10 Havoc 90 for your muzzle. Same thing for your recoil. I'm trying to bring that horizontal down as much as I can. I think horizontal is a big killer. If you have a lot of vertical, I can control that pretty easily. Horizontal is pretty tough. The Holger factory barrel, huge damage and bullet velocity buffs. Ruin heavy support grip. Again, the high velocity rounds. This is bringing my 20%. This is bringing it up to 1,045. Hit scan range of 50 meters. Really, really solid for this guy. And last but not least, the more than 20 grip. Huge buffs for my recoil control. Putting that into the firing range now. Something about it, dude. I really, even though this has the hooded iron sight, it doesn't cross. It's really solid like that. And it feels great. When I'm using this like in game, I don't have a lot of gun shit. Like the recoil is from the bottom of the gun, not the top. I don't know how to explain that, but it's like on my screen, you can see it's like down here instead of being up here. And it makes it really easy for me to visualize where my targets are and be stable. It just feels so good for me. Holger 2.6. I am very excited to do this as well. I fell in love with the Holger 5.56 last season. You guys can see that video on my channel too. I dropped 24 in a solos game. Love that one. Now, I shouldn't even be making this into the video, but I have to tell you guys about the cheese, bro. I have to tell you about the cheese. The Core 45. Let's get into it, man. It's not the conversion kit that we used the last time. It got even worse, dude. We're putting it Akimbo inside of 10 meters. I know I said the WSP Swarm was the best. The thing with this is the WSP Swarm, incredibly easy to use. This is incredibly difficult. You need to be an absolute monster if you're using the Core 45. What's terrifying is if you're an absolute monster and you know how to use the Core 45, you will never lose another gunfight within 10 meters ever. Ever. The TTK on this is like 405 or 420 or something, but that's if you hit a maximum fire rate of like 1400 RPM rounds per minute, which is crazy. TGD, when he did his test, was at about 1100 rounds per minute on mouse and key. And I use a DualSense Edge controller where I have a very, very low response time on my trigger. It's set like 0 to 1, so I can barely tap it and it goes. So I'm not sure how close I can get, but I'm going to try it out and see how bad it is, because even at the 1100 that True Game Data was at, he was getting TTKs around the 500 range or 540, which is 100 milliseconds faster, 100, 200 milliseconds faster than every other option. That's insane. And your hip firing, my movement is just nuts. The Akimbo grip, the XRK lightning fire is what makes me able to shoot that fast with the 88% increase to rate of fire. 40 round drum, you're going to need the rounds. The 45 auto high grain rounds, and then you don't really have any other options to bring down your hip fire spread. And what you need to look at, y'all, when you're looking at hip fire is not hip fire spread minimum. The minimum is when I'm not moving. It doesn't matter how accurate it is when I'm not moving, because I'm never going to be not move. I'm not going to just stand there, bro, and just hip fire someone. That's insane. You're trying to bring down, if you're ever making a hip fire build, always try to bring down your hip fire spread max. We only get it to about 5 degrees. That is the only thing keeping this in a world that is slightly secure. Now, the next thing, you're like, Akimbo, I don't want to use both my triggers. That's really difficult. There's a setting in Warzone. Go to settings. You're going to go to your controller. You're going to go to gaming, I think, or gameplay, and then go down here. And where'd you go? Akimbo behavior. Pendant means that you use both your triggers. Paired means that I can use either trigger and it's going to shoot it at the same time. So I'm going to leave that on paired. Normally people have it like that. And what it means is that now every time that I press this, whatever, I got to find like whatever rhythm. I can either go just one like that and fire like this fast, which isn't that fast in my opinion, or I can just like I bet you there's some type of rhythm that can make me shoot faster, and I'll find that out. But pretty broken, pretty cracked. It's going to take some practice in game, especially. I would give yourself maybe a day using these and just be okay getting shit on for a bit, because at some point you're going to figure it out. And when you start figuring it out, you will just stop losing. I was using the conversion kit on this for a while on Rebirth Island, and it got to a point where I just stopped losing up close gunfights one-on-one. I was playing solos. I just could not lose. I'm really excited to try this, and I'm really terrified to try it at the same time. We'll see how good it is. The thing with the conversion kit is I got really good at controlling the recoil, so I was actually getting crazy TTK times out to like 30 meters, which was nuts. But yeah, that's our last loadout, y'all. The Holger 2.6 and the Core 45. All right, y'all, those are all of our meta loadouts and builds. I hope you guys love the options. I hope you guys love the TTK charts. I hope you guys love the video. Let me know what you're using. Let me know if there's anything that I should know about and test out and show to everyone else. Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for the support recently. Y'all are incredible, and I cannot wait to keep growing with you guys. Let's put in some work. Let's get it in. I am going live after I'm done editing this video, and I can't wait to see you guys. For everything else Call of Duty, subscribe to the channel. I got some other great bangers coming, and I've got some great videos that I've already posted, a few tips and tricks. I think I'm going to do some more breakdown videos and stuff in the future. I hope you guys have a great Season 3 Reloaded. I can't wait to bring you guys more info and everything else you need Call of Duty related. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.